It's you. Alright. So, I think I got it now. Yeah, pain. This is being a royal pain. Okay. Here we go. Move. There we go. Here we go. Actually, we're gonna stand and read creepypastas. One more thing false. One more. Alright. Not understanding why nothing wants to work. Couldn't get my camera to work, so we're using this. Can you plug this in on the other side of the room for me, please? Huh? Can you hear everything I'm saying? Actually, no. Yeah, because I don't have a thing there. Will it reach? Here we go. We're going to read Lost Episodes. So, for anyone who... Pick up. For anyone who doesn't know, Lost Episode is basically a creepypasta, but of cartoons. So, we're going to look some up. We're going to read some. So, if that's really not your thing, and you don't like scary, click onto a different video. I have a bunch of videos you can watch. If this one is not your thing, we're going to comb my hair back. Because why not? But feel free to watch any of my other videos. And yeah. Let's do this. I just put in my earworms. Alright. So, good. There we go. Good enough, that's not what I was on, but no, I can't find it. This is off of Wattpad. Okay. So we're gonna do my makeup while I do this. Alright. I like Wattpad. My hands are gonna be up here a lot. Alright. Where's my foundation? No, if you're not gonna work, do say. Alright, no. I lost my foundation. Elizabeth! One, that's really loud. I can hear it. Two, do you know where my foundation is? No. What? How? How do you lose foundation? It's the biggest bottle. I have my concealers. It's on the other side. Okay. Now let's get started. I remember this one. Supposedly, Blue's Clues has a lost episode. That's how it starts. But, again, these are creepypastas. None of this is real. If you get scared easily, not the video for you. So, supposedly, the producers of Blue's Clues attempted to smuggle a forbidden episode onto the air. We're going to start with this color corrector. And rumors were it partially succeeded. The first 30 seconds of the episode were aired, but it was taking off immediately. A few people claimed to have seen those 30 seconds and saw that Steve was facing the camera with a grim expression and trying to tell the viewer something that had happened with the show's premiere. This had all been dismissed as a prank until a DVD was found by a woman named Alyssa, who apparently lost her place. Who is or was apparently cousin of 3 siblings that experienced the paranormal. What? Paranormal has to do with anything. Okay, we're not putting my opinions in here just yet. She claims this is what they saw when they put into the DVD player. Steve comes on screen and he's sitting in his thinking chair with a grim expression and says to the viewers, please, if you're watching this, please help us. They took me, Blue, and everyone else away. Which, that's funny. I don't know why that's funny to me, but that just... Okay. And everyone else from the home. They torture people if they don't obey, and sometimes even if they did. And we hated it. AKA Steve. We wanted to go back home, but we were trapped, so please don't let us suffer anymore. Free us. She says this is how and why she has a phobia of kids' shows, which I think is an actual real thing. So, and she fears that some people in the TV have experienced the same fate as Steve. And she can't bear to think about that. And that's how that ends. Whoa! Did you play with my makeup?
Huh?
Did you play with my makeup?
No.
It's a lot of dust. It's all purple. And there's a color missing. Purple. I'm going to find me another one of these. There we go. That's what I saw in there. Whatever. Not whatever, because it's... Yeah. Next one. Just so we're... No. That wouldn't happen. If anyone knows how Blue's Clues is named. No, there's so many Blue's Clues ones. I'm not ruining anyone's childhood. I grew up watching Blue's Clues. My little sisters watched Blue's Clues. And I saw a behind the scenes on like YouTube on how they made Blue's Clues. Which I figured that's how they made it. Super cool though. I'm just going to try to blend it with my fingers because I can't find my brushes still. Hey, Lillian.
What?
Question. Are there brushes in the bathroom?
No.
Like on the... No, I don't know which shelf it's on. Behind the door. Because I know there was one there when I went in there. Because I left it on the shelf because...
I want more Doritos.
Bring me my brushes and I'll tell you where there's more. Alright, I'd tell her anyway if she didn't find them. Or bring them to me. Okay. The face is covered in concealer. And you said there were none. These are eyebrows. When I said you said there were none. Doritos? They're in the roundabout. Lazy Susan, if you will. SpongeBob. So it's been a few years since I watched or viewed the SpongeBob Cry AVI. I'm far from recovering from such a shock after watching this clip. My computer has been taken to Best Buy for repairs and to hopefully have SpongeBobCry.avi removed or eliminated from my PC forever. Hopefully it will not haunt the doorsteps of my mind ever again. I should be getting a call from them by the end of the week, if not longer. And I would do it would freaking word. That would do my well-being a world of good to see that freaking video taken off my computer. Okay. Lost my place. But one question lingers after I looked at the clip that day. Who the hell wrote "one time wouldn't be too badly"? What? Yeah. I went to a hacker friend of mine who was able to translate gobbledygook. That's weird. Okay. That was in the video. Maybe he could tell me what it meant. He was much braver than I to view it. Oh.
You get one, I get three.
I dropped one. I understand what's going on.
I'm giving you food.
Not you! I understand that concept. I understand the food of being given food.
I don't want to wear these headphones anymore.
Okay. Well, I've been watching a lot of Lost episodes on YouTube, so those are what we're going to go over. Because I can't read half of that. It's spelled wrong. And I can't continue on. I inhaled eyeshadow powder. It's fine. My hair is falling out. So, there's this video on YouTube called Gregory's Room. Someone made it after the fact. Someone made a Lost episode about it. So, it takes place in a Nickelodeon screening room. And they have a bunch of preschoolers sitting there to watch Gregory's Room, because Gregory's Room is meant for preschoolers. So they're trying to test run it to see how it'll turn out. So there's 4 people, 4 children. And by the end of it, all the kids are crying. So this is told from the perspective of one of the children. And what happens is they're watching this, and it takes place in this guy's room, Gregory's room. Now, you'd think that's a okay concept, because we have a bunch of shows that take place in rooms, bedrooms, and houses. Like Blue's Clues takes place in a house. We're in the big blue house. But in this one house, it's one room by the fireplace, and there's a chair facing the fireplace. Now, in this chair is a man named Gregory. And he introduces you and says, I'm Gregory, and this is my room. So, after he introduces you, oh God. What happened next? I just got done watching it. The camera pans in closer to him, and then it goes, it's just me and you. No mom, no dad, no police. Just me and you. Forever. And honestly, that would scare a child. What child wouldn't that scare? But, anyway. When this ends, he says, embrace me. I need to be embraced. And he turns into a ball of like fire. He turns into like where the fireplace is. And the entire room is engulfed in flames. Each of the kids are crying. Understandably so. The parents come and take their children, and needless to say that it was never aired. Now, there's a lot more. Trying to think. I spend my time watching true crime and lost episodes. So there is this one about Ed, Edd n Eddy, which is a Cartoon Network show. I was not allowed to watch that growing up. Crude jokes, inappropriate. I wasn't allowed to watch it. But there's this one where it's basically the little cul-de-sac they're in is a hell, which is why you never see them leave the cul-de-sac. The cul-de-sac just is a bunch of houses in one circle. And each of the kids with their blue tongues and all that, yeah, the blue tongues are important. Each of them are dead. Each of them died in different time periods. Now, my brain was good enough, I would remember. But I think one of the Ed, because it's not double D. Double D is Ed with two D's. So Ed, 1D, died in the 30s during the Great Depression. So which is why he's obsessed with money. Double D died in the 70s, I think. No, I think that's wrong. Anyway, we can do an entire video on that lost episode. But basically, it goes through and explains why the cul-de-sac is hell. And the three bullies, I don't know what the girls' names are, they're demons to keep them in there. Oh, the little boy that has the plank as a friend, he died in the 50s, 1800s. Oh, it's one of them. I just got done watching it, so I should, in theory, know, but I don't. So, that's fine. There's this one about the Great World of Gumball, which is a Cartoon Network show as well. I was also not allowed to watch that show as a kid. We were lucky that our parents let us watch SpongeBob. That there was a time we weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob because we would do karate on each other. Kids learn from TV, and we were very young. So we weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob when we were super little, but when we got like 11, 12, and we could very well know the difference and know not to beat on each other and do karate like SpongeBob and Sandy, we were allowed to watch SpongeBob. So that was the only show we were really allowed to watch. But The Amazing World of Gumball, I can't remember. Loyan, Google when The Amazing World of Gumball came out. I want to say it was 2009. I might be wrong, and it might.
Can you?
No. Here, use my tablet while I do my makeup. But basically, Gumball is a cat, and he has a brother named Darwin, who's a fish, and Ionis, which is a rabbit. The Amazing World of Gumball. Look it up. I just want to know its release date. Like, I've watched a couple episodes. Yes, a few of them are cute. There's a lot of adult jokes. He is a cat. I've been watching a lot about it. I didn't know what Gumball was. I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple episodes where they mention it, but I don't watch it enough. I watch it once in a while when it's like on TV, like on cable. But I could just very well find a streaming site it's on and watch it, but I don't feel like doing that. So, Anyway, what year was it released? We're gonna do some red in here, some contrast with the pink.
2011.
Yeah. See, I was 10. Or almost 10, so I was like 9. We weren't allowed to watch it though. But
Can you
you know,
please unplug? Are you serious?
I'm not just using this palette, I'm using this one on the side for like where I want the red to overpower the pink just a little bit so I can blend them together. And the bright pink, it's also from this palette because I like these colors. There's this lost episode called The Grieving. Now this one gets a little graphic. Or the mourning, grieving, mourning. It's under both names if you look it up. People have made videos off of them. So, you know, whatever. And, so it starts off Gumball's in his classroom. And then it cuts to the dad, Richard, who's a rabbit. And the mother, who is a cat. I think they adopted Darwin. I can't remember. I haven't seen that show in a little bit. But none of that's important. Minus their names. So her name is Nicole, but I'm gonna call her Gumball's mom. And so they go to the principal. What's the principal's name? I can't remember what the principal's name is. And he tells them about Ionis and Darwin are missing. Parents are visibly upset. And then they find out that they are dead. So basically they get decapitated and taken apart, dismembered. So I think they found Ionis's body and not her head with Darwin's body, or maybe I think they found Darwin's body completely dismembered all in one place and Ionis's head in a box that was next to Darwin's body. And then, because the mom hadn't heard them say anything about Gumball, asked about Gumball, wanting to know about the well-being of him. Turns out they found him unalived because of himself. So, and story goes that Gumball did it. He was mad at his siblings.
I'm sad
that.
now.
And yeah, that's how that one goes. I'll put some orange in here. I'm trying to make it look cute. I'm having a hard time with this eyeball. Yeah. Dusty. There's also this other one about Dora being I think it's a mental patient. Oh gosh. So her little flower bracelet.
Wait, beat it.
Dude, stop yelling.
How am I yelling?
I was trying to chuck it. I didn't know it was plugged in. Okay.
Yes, you did.
When you handed it to me, I didn't know it was still plugged in because you never hand me your thing when it's plugged in. Ever. Dora's a mental patient. Something. She's a patient. And she has her little bracelet on her arm. It's so that if someone wanders off, you know where to find them. So I assume she was a mental patient. So she goes on these little adventures, but it's just around the psych ward. And yeah, she's not actually talking to animals. She's just talking to random people that are willing to talk back to her. So when her mother and father are just people that are taking care of her at the psychiatric ward. So Dora's whole stuff is all in her head. so you know. It's not black, that's gray. Yay. Love using the wrong color. But, yeah. That one was weird. Trying to think of more. I've seen, one course meal. There's, it's a SpongeBob episode. We'll do some SpongeBob. There's this episode, one course meal, where Krabs finds out Plankton's fear. It's an actual episode, but there's a lost episode around it because instead of Plankton going ahead and showing Mr. Krabs some mimes, or a mime, because that's what Mr. Krabs is afraid of, Plankton sits in the middle of, lays in the middle of the road after being so upset by what Mr. Krabs has done to him that he plans on unaliving and waits for the next bus.
Don't you dare do what I think you are.
And so SpongeBob
Woo-woo.
tries to convince him to not to, because in the episode he's all like, what are you doing? He's like, waiting for the bus. And he's like, no, you know what Mr. Krabs is doing this. And he doesn't tell him in the last creepypasta episode. He actually gets hit by a bus. And ends up in limbo. AKA between hell and heaven, which weird. Then he's in his own little purgatory. And he stays there in the darkness. There's also one about Squidward. We're not going over the name of it. Can't mention that. But I can say unaliving, which is weird. But there's this episode where Squidward is... I messed up. Not the story, but my face. Where Squidward is practicing for a recital. But when he gets to this recital, he gets booed. And no one likes him. This makes him sad. SpongeBob laughs when he gets upset. And so Squidward, it cuts to Squidward being at home. Like, people have made videos of it. Everything. But this is told from the perspective of a Nickelodeon, I can't remember what their position is at Nick, but they sit there and they watch the cartoons. So, they're sitting there, and then Squidward is on his bed crying. It's loud and everything. And Squidward grabs things that go boom boom. Not bombs, but the other stuff. Dustings. Because you can't mention them. And unalives. And then, according to the person that saw this, it was made by someone who supposedly killed a bunch of people. Because there were pictures of dead children. Unalived children. And, he was so scarred for life, he stopped working at Nick. Stopped working for Nick. And, yeah. That one
Movie.
was horrible. This is not so much of a creepypasta as this was an actual thing where the unalived Squidward picture, there's a picture of it that's circled around the internet,
How you don't tell on YouTube?
was used in an episode of SpongeBob, but because it was too graphic for children, they took it out and replaced it with the baby Squidward.
I remember
the episode. What is the episode?
Lazy Wheels?
Random. But anyway, the premise of the episode is Mr. Krabs sends Squidward and SpongeBob to this random place. It's a random world, and you have to get there by being random, and you don't know how, but it's random. And so SpongeBob and Squidward are at these doors, and Squidward's opening these doors because SpongeBob runs through one, and they're trying to find Mr. Krabs because they could have sworn, hey, yo, I saw Mr. Krabs. Yo, you didn't see Mr. Krabs. You saw some guy that was looking for a sandwich. But anyway, so they're going through these doors, and Squidward opens one. And it was the unalived Squidward picture. Like, not physical, blech, but like crying blood eyes. And Squidward slams the door shut. It's like a second, but every creepypasta lover was all like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, that's cool. And then, because it was too graphic and scary for kids, because, you know, kids aren't supposed to be reading scary stuff like that, they changed it to a picture of baby Squidward. So, yeah, that actually happened because we actually watched that, and we were all like, me and May, that's cool. And then he changed it. I was like, May, look. And she was all like, no. Because, you know, it was cool. It was cool. They had scaries and SpongeBob. But, yeah, that actually happened. And then no one understood why they took it down, but it's because it's too graphic and scary for kids. Anyway, so continuing on, another lost episode, creepypasta. Let's go. There's this lost episode of Blue's Clues where Steve or Joe, which one was it? Oh, one of them. One of them are talking to the camera, and basically he's in prison or something. And then there's one where someone tells a story of Steve or Joe. I can't remember which one it is. They neglect a child, and that's the voice you hear. And they gave the kid voice as a background. It's the nephew that he neglects. And then Steve or Joe or both are on drugs. You know, stuff like that. They made lost episodes, creepypastas, theories, because those creepypastas turned into theories. Heck, that crap. Blue's Clues was my childhood. That's where it was at. We watched a lot of Blue's Clues and Team Umizoomi back in 2011. So those of you who don't know what Team Umizoomi is, it's a little band of little itty bitty heroes that are no more than a big, and they are so cute. My little sisters, Ainsley and Seffi, they just got into rewatching that. It's like they loved it, and then we stopped watching it for a little bit, and they just got back into watching that, and it's like, yes, because that was such a cute show. But when they watch it on repeat, it's not as cute. I don't think there's any lost episodes for that, because
Let me tell you something. She's told teacher.
Okay. So, anyway. With that, we're going to blend some orange in the outside. Trying to think of some more. There are a bunch of theories. We can go into theories that people have made, creepypasta kind of theories. That have any of you seen Monsters Inc? I love Monsters Inc. Me and Monsters Inc are almost the same exact age. So, I grew up watching Monsters Inc. The movie came out in December. It came out in 2001 anyway. And I was born November 17th of 2001. So, we grew up watching Monsters Inc. I can literally quote that movie word for word when you turn it on. So, there's this one where Boo has been kidnapped by Sully, who's just a guy in a big puffy purple and blue and purple polka dotted outfit. And Mike Wazowski's just a short guy. So, Boo's that little girl that's supposed to be so dangerous, but she's so cute. Seffi reminds me of Boo a lot. And it's cute. So that's one theory. There's a whole Pixar and Disney movie theory that they blend together really nicely. That that could go on for hours. So that could be a video of its own. But in that theory, it theorizes that all of them are linked in together and they have the entire timeline and everything. Someone has way too much time. But, it's interesting when you sit there and you read this and you're like, someone actually came up with that. Because that's cool. Trying to think of other conspiracy theories. Mine is the creepypastas that turned into conspiracy theories that, like, Joe has a nephew he neglects and all that good jazz because people like to try to ruin kid shows. Another theory along with the creepypastas is that Steve is in prison, which is why you never see him move out of a straight line. Except when he's skidooing, but he still stays like front facing to the camera. The people with the amount of time to think these up. Remember. So that's one of them. I can't think. But there's a lot of like conspiracy theories for kids shows. There's like physical lost episodes. Like there have been found, like some from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. There were a few lost episodes, but they found 95% of them. I think there's like one they haven't found. I can't remember what episode.
Is anyone watching your video?
I have no idea. No, it says no.
Okay.
Why?
It looked like it said one down here. That's all.
Okay. But, pause. Okay. I finish makeup. Trying to think. Like, there's a lot. There's this scary lost. I can't remember if it's an actual episode or if it's a lost episode of Tom and Jerry. I don't think it's an actual one. It might be. But in this episode, this one's talked about a lot, so you might actually know it. Tom and Jerry. Tom gets broken up with by his girl cat for another one who is supposedly much better than Tom, richer, I think. And so he sits on these train tracks. And Jerry's laughing at him because he's all like, my girlfriend wouldn't do something like that. I think it was Unsettling episode, so it might be a real one. And so Jerry finds out that his little mousetress, it's like mistress of mice, mousetress leaves him for a better mouse. And so they sit there on the train tracks together drinking milk, aka cat equivalent to alcohol for that episode. And they sit there on the train tracks, and then all you hear in the back is the sound of a train coming closer. And you can imagine what happens. This be the look. I'm gonna fix it with some concealer. If I can find it again. There we go. See if I can think of more. I watch a lot of them, so I eventually run out of them. There was one about Scooby-Doo, but I can't remember how that goes. Oh yeah, Scooby was a science experiment gone wrong. So, there's another theory. Shaggy's on drugs. Because why not? Kid shows drugs. Let's mix those. Theory is that Scooby-Doo, more Scooby-Doo, takes place in like the 1930s instead of the 50s, where it says it's set in during the Great Depression, which is why no one cares if they're walking into buildings and why they have ghost hunting teenagers, because it's the Great Depression and they didn't have enough of anything to hire anyone because, economy, low on money. People had to make sacrifices, make provisions work, that stuff. So that's another theory. I think that's all I can come up with at the moment. So yeah, that's all I have for now. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.